Hello, welcome to the live stream. Thank you for joining. We're live on both YouTube and Facebook right now. If you have any comments, questions, complaints, conspiracies, what else? Tell me your deepest secrets in the comments, and I'll be answering all sorts of questions. And you saw the title about scary stuff happening in Queretaro, well, near Queretaro. I'm going to get to that once some more people join. Steven says the earth is flat. That's funny. Cheryl, hi from Tucson. Hello. We have Atlanta, Georgia in the house. Good to see you here. Christian asks, is this on YouTube as well? Yes, it's live on YouTube and Facebook right now. Jody says, hi from Las Vegas. Made a trip from Phoenix. Cool. And I'll be in Vegas soon. Bradley says, go D-backs. That's my shirt. I went to the gym and these were my gym clothes. Rick asks, what's the temperature here? Current temperature. It's beautiful. It feels perfect.
It's 82 degrees right now.
My phone says 82. It feels cooler than that, to be honest. But, I mean, it's perfect weather pretty much year-round here in Querétaro. It's one of the reasons why I love living here. Justin asks, you've probably been asked this before. Do you know what meds are not RX for in Mexico compared to the US? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Do you mean like, I'm going to assume you mean like what you don't need a prescription here for? Well, like you can get a lot of stuff without a prescription here. And even if you do need a prescription, just about every pharmacy also has a doctor on site, like a little consultation that you can do to get a prescription written for you pretty quickly. And oftentimes that consultation is free. It might be 50 pesos, like $2.50. But there's also some medications that just aren't available here. For example, I can't get an EpiPen here. Bright Star asks, where's your girl? She's right here. Ask us, say hi. Oh, yes, everyone says hi to you as well. But if you're talking about the other girl, she's at yoga. Join the Flat Moon Society. That's funny. Hey, Alejandro, good to see you here. All right, now that between Facebook and YouTube, we have over 700 people on here right now. I'm going to start talking about some of the scary stuff that's been happening just in the last 2 days. Like yesterday, I believe it was yesterday morning near Querétaro on a highway. There was like some thieves and they blocked off the highway somehow and trapped about 300 cars there. And with the 300 cars that they trapped, they were robbing everyone at gunpoint and they were stealing all their wallets and their phones. So yeah, that's pretty scary. And then it might have also been yesterday, or maybe it was this morning, in a nearby city, Celaya, which, in fairness, Celaya is the most dangerous city in Mexico, and it just happens to be located about an hour away from Querétaro in the neighboring state of Guanajuato. Well, there, you would think you're safe in a hotel, right? At least I would. But, like, gunmen opened fire in a hotel in Celaya, so about an hour away from Querétaro. So just in the last day, those two big events have happened, which is pretty scary. And my my girlfriend was telling me about how 2 years ago she was in the mall, uh, Galerias Querétaro, and she's like in some store looking at jewelry with her mom, and all of a sudden, like people are running into the store, yelling at them to get on the ground, because there's someone robbing the jewelry store downstairs, and like they ended up going into a back room of this store that they were in, while they could hear gunfire, like the armed security guards and the thieves or the robbers exchanging gunfire. So yeah, uh, that that's pretty crazy as well. But that was 2 years ago. Thank you, Stephen, for the $10 Canadian super chat. I appreciate that. I live in Celaya. Yeah, a lot of people live in Celaya. What do you think of it there? Like, are you scared to go out on a daily basis, or is the cartel violence there just something you just expect and they don't like harm your average person, or what's the situation like? MJ asks, oof, that's scary. Oof, what are the gun laws in Mexico? Can you open or concealed carry? You can conceal carry with a permit, but those permits are hard to get. Like if you like for example, like a landowner would be able to get might be able to get a concealed carry permit, or politicians, some basically people who think their life might be in danger for some reason or another. So big landowners, politicians, maybe I could get one as a YouTuber. um, but mostly, like if you have a gun in Mexico, it's mostly allowed in the confines of your house, and even for that, you still need permits. And if you want to travel with a gun, well, then you need permits for that. But there are there are gun clubs and there's hunting clubs and things like that. So there are permits available, but the gun laws here are very strict. In fact, in the upcoming video on Saturday, I'm going to talk a little bit about that. JG says Celaya used to be so safe. That's crazy. Changed so much. Panda Santi, why I carry a fake wallet and an extra cell phone? $100 one. You never know. You know, like that's not a bad idea. We've had a fake wallet in our car for a long time. Like when I was with my ex, and yeah, like we had a fake wallet in the glove box with like 50 pesos in it. So, and like old expired cards and things like that. So it looked like a real wallet, but it was for purposes like that. We actually got it before coming to Mexico because we thought that we were going to have to pay a bribe every time we had any interaction with the cops, because that's just what people made us think before coming to Mexico. And we found out, at least in our case, that that wasn't true at all. So we never actually needed it. Bill says it took police 90 minutes to get to the 300 people who were being robbed. That's insane. 90 minutes? That makes you think like, was it an inside job? Like, were the thieves part of the police? Because when are police ever 90 minutes away? That just seems crazy to me. Especially near a big city like Querétaro. It's not like it was out in the middle of nowhere. Bullish on Houston's. Uh, Thank you for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that. Hey man, glad you're safe. What app do you use to trade options in Mexico? And are you into crypto at all? Be safe. What app do I use? Well, so I have the app Webull, but I I don't really use it. I mostly just use Charles Schwab, and I also should clarify that I don't really trade options. I mean, I sell covered calls, um, and occasionally, like if it's a really compelling case, it has to be really, really good though. I might buy a call, but I don't trade them. And as for am I into crypto at all? Um, these days, not really. Uh, I first found out about Bitcoin in I think it was about 2013. I really liked it, and the price at the time was about $100. And me and my ex fiance at the time were saving up for a wedding, and we had some money in savings. And I said to her, "Hey, I was like, hey, I think we should take this money and put it into Bitcoin." Because I think Bitcoin it has big potential. I think it's going places, and so like I was in the process of doing that, and then I was trying to get the money sent to Mount Gox, and by the time I was like able to do that, the price of Bitcoin had doubled to 200. And then I'm like, well, now it's way too high. I can't buy it now. It's doubled in price. So I didn't. And then it wasn't but I think a few months later that Mount Gox went bankrupt and everyone lost their Bitcoin who had it in there. But that's my Bitcoin story. Bradley asked, "Do you still go to Puerto Vallarta? We have a condo that looks out on the cruise ship. Love it there." Oh, that sounds awesome. Yeah, I mean, I haven't been able to travel in a while because um, as the buyout was pending of Tangerine Travels, I wasn't able to spend any money. So that meant no travel. And then right when I was about to travel again, Alaska got hurt, then she had to have surgery, and now she's been recovering. So that meant no travel. But yeah, I'm going to start traveling very soon because now I feel like Alaska's at the point where I can leave her with a sitter. The fake wallet idea is actually good. Yeah, I mean, we thought it was a good idea. Like I said, it never needed it though. But it'd be nice to have when you do need it, right? Edward, glad you can be here. And Trish, maybe it's my Trish advisor. I didn't see her comment, but cool to see her here as well if she's here. Um, but thank you for being a channel member, Edward. I really appreciate that. Danny, I still feel safe in Querétaro. Yeah, I do. I mean, I still walk all over the place, and I haven't personally seen anything bad happen. But I mean, the events of the last couple of days, if this continues, well, then maybe that will change. Okay, I was asking you about Celaya earlier. Well, believe it or not, I prefer to live in Celaya than Querétaro. Celaya is more dangerous, but for me, Celaya is a more comfortable city. It's cheaper, no traffic jams. Okay. Robbers try doing that in the U.S., and chances are some of the victims will have guns. Yeah, I mean, if you tried stopping 300 cars in the U.S. and robbing everyone at gunpoint, I bet I bet at least 10% of those 300 are armed, or maybe it's not that high. I guess it depends on where you're at in the country. If you're in Missouri or Texas, well then yeah, probably. If you're in New York, maybe not. But yeah, that just wouldn't happen because those thieves would be dead. Inaro, thanks for the super chat. Brunettes do it better. Good job. Thanks. Yeah, I'm really happy with mine. She's lovely. Are Mexicans not armed there? Is it rare? It's very rare. Like basically the only people allowed to have weapons are the government or like people working for the government and military and police and criminals. I mean, there are you can legally own a gun, but it's very strict and like it's a long process to do it, and like you have to keep up with the laws and everything, and continually renew your permits and things like that. Is the Celaya Queretaro province known for violence, or is this something really new to the area? Well, those are two very different things because Celaya is in the state of Guanajuato. Even though it's close to Querétaro, Celaya is the most dangerous city in the country. But Querétaro, the city and the state, is are known to be pretty darn safe. Chris asks, "Where's Mai? She's at yoga." Kevin asks, "What are your thoughts on Morelia?" I liked it. I haven't spent a ton of time there, and it's been a. I think the last time I was there was 2018. But yeah, and I never really left the centro area. So, I mean, I liked it, but I had limited experience and it was a long time ago. Panda, thank you for the 1999 super chat, the biggest one of the night. Just sending you some money to give you some love. Almost 5 years in Mexico myself. We're about the same age in Mexico then. It's challenging at times, but I would not go back. Yeah, I've no plans of leaving at all. I have to let Laska inside. She's just going to be barking if I don't. Laska, if you're outside, you want to go inside. Inside, you want to. Rob asks, "Have I ever been robbed?" No, I've had an attempted robbery once in Phoenix, but I've never been robbed in my life. Julio asks, "What are your thoughts on traveler colonialism?" I don't know what that means. Edward, fickle Alaska, in or out? Yeah, if she's outside, she's barking to go inside. If she's inside, then she's wanting to come outside. Where are there more shootings, USA or Mexico? I don't know. My guess would be the USA because the population is almost triple that of Mexico. But if you're talking on a per capita basis, I don't know. Julio asks, is there a martial arts scene in Queretaro? Brazilian jiu-jitsu or kickboxing? Yeah, yeah. There's lots of martial arts places, from boxing, Krav Maga, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Uh, I'm not sure if I've personally seen a kickboxing, but it's not something I'm looking for. So I'm guessing there is. There's a lot of martial arts stuff. Claude Darby, did you hear about the robbery on the toll road in Querétaro? 300 cars. Yeah, I was talking about that earlier in the stream, and that's what the title on YouTube of this live stream is about. Well, one of two events that happened in the last day or so. Frank asks, is it customary to meet the parents first in Mexico before dating? Before dating? I don't think so, because no one I've dated has wanted me to meet their parents before meeting me. Christian, thanks for the super chat. We just had a school shooting in Texas today. Are guns legal in Mexico? Um, so most people will answer this question with no, they're not. But that's a myth. They are legal. They just have strict gun laws here. So, like, you can get you can get a permit for a gun to keep in your home for home defense, but you can't take it anywhere. Um, but there's also permits you can get for hunting and for gun clubs, and you can get special permits for transporting those guns to the gun club or shooting range or things like that. And also, you can get a carry permit if you're someone whose life might be in danger. Like, for example, a politician would be able to get one. Someone who, like, very wealthy would probably be able to get one. A YouTuber might be able to get one. But and then also, like, there's permits for security personnel as well. So private security, like the Brinks operators, the Brinks truck operators, the guys who are um, guarding like the expensive stores and things like that. But you better, if you're going to have a gun, you better make darn sure you're following the law. Otherwise, you can get in deep, deep trouble. Like, we're talking prison time. So it's not something to mess around with in Mexico. Alex asked, did I have a fiance before Maddie? Yes, I did. Yeah, we were together for her and I for about 5 years. Melanie, I almost missed this. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate that. Corn Mom asked, got any monkeypox down there yet? No, I'm not paying attention to it. Like, with how fast it's coming after COVID, it just seems like something they're trying to scare us with. So, nope. At least that's my take on it. but I don't know anything about it. So that's my ignorant take. Curious about open carry of hunting knives. I don't know. Um, when when driving, we kept like a pocket knife, kind of like a switchblade type dealio, in the car. Actually, a couple of them. And one time we got stopped by the state police, and they did not like that knife was in the glove box. Uh, they're like, if you're gonna have this, you have to have it back there, out of your reach, which seems to defeat the purpose to me. But yeah. So as for open carry of hunting knives, I mean, people carry around machetes. So I mean, that's a really common sight throughout Mexico. People having giant machetes just walking around. So I mean, a little like switchblade knife didn't seem so bad to me. Cheryl asks, "What does it mean when we send you stars?" So stars are a thing on Facebook, and it just basically you're sending money to Tangerine Travels. Every star is 1 penny, and 100% of it goes to me, and Facebook doesn't take a cut, I believe. But just keep in mind that if you send stars during the stream, on my software, I cannot see those stars, but I do make sure to go back after the stream is done and respond to anyone who sent stars. DJ Dave just arrived here. What's the scary stuff? So I went into a little bit more detail earlier, but within the last day, or the last day and a half, in a city an hour away from Queretaro, there was like a gunman open firing in a hotel. And here in Querétaro, well, in the state of Querétaro, a little bit outside of the city, there were 300 cars that were blocked in on the highway and all robbed at gunpoint. So they were stealing everyone's phone and wallet. Does permanent residence take a year or so? Assuming you have the financial qualifications for permanent residency, you can get it within a couple of weeks. So you'd make an appointment at a consulate in your home country. So let's say you're from the US, you make an appointment at one of the Mexican consulates in the US, you get approved, then you can go to Mexico immediately, and then you continue the process at an INM office here in Mexico, and then you can have your permanent residency card in a few days, or maybe even the same day, depending on the INM office in Mexico that you're going to. But if you get permanent residency after getting temporary residency, well, then you get that 4 years later. Thank you, Pack Attack, for the $4.99 super chat. I appreciate that. Cheryl asks, "What are the financial qualifications for permanent residency?" Ah, I forget the exact numbers, but it's either you need something like 150,000 US dollars in savings and investments, and that had to be your minimum balance over the past 12 months. but that number might be 145 or it might be 175. I forget exactly, but that can also be in the form of an IRA, a 401k. So really any investments that you have, like with a brokerage account or a retirement account, anything like that, or you can qualify via your monthly income. And if I remember right, that's somewhere around $3,500 or $4,000 a month. However, that can only be from a pension. And you also have to be old enough to get permanent residency. Like, uh, there isn't any strict cutoff for age, but some consulates deny younger people like me and will only accept people of retirement age or close to retirement age. Are you open to selling Tangerine Travels? No. And for anyone to buy Tangerine Travels, it would be kind of stupid of them because it's only worth anything if it's in my hands. So, because if I stop posting videos, the views will go way down and revenue will go way down. So, nah. Do you have residency, Jordan? Yes, I do. Don asks, have you been to Bucerias? Sort of. So I in one of my Puerto Vallarta videos, I did this tour where we went to this hot spring spa type dealio, and then after that, we went to Bucerias for a massage on the beach. But I've literally seen basically none of Bucerias, so yeah, I can't really say that I have. Adri Seli, thank you for the $5 super chat. Robberies on highways are very common in Mexico, especially towards is it Morelia, Oaxaca, Michoacan. Please be careful. Foreigners normally do not know that. Well, thank you for the information and for informing everyone. Kevin asked, Jordan, I want to live in Mexico during the winter months. You think I can live like a rock star with 3 to 4 thousand USD a month there? Yeah, definitely. You'll live a very, very good life. Joseph asked, seen any chupacabras? Yeah, I think I saw one in New Mexico once. I'm almost not even joking. Yeah, it sure seems to me like it was the police were involved because like being close to Queretaro, there was no way that it would take the police 90 minutes to get there. No way. I don't buy it for a second that there wasn't some inside job going on there. Do you suggest coming temporarily to look around and then permanent residency? No, I would suggest getting permanent residency if you have any interest in living in Mexico and you can qualify for permanent residency to get it now because the requirements for residency are only going up. They only get harder every year. So and then once you have permanent residency, you have for the rest of your life, and then you never have to deal with it again. So get it now if you can, if you have any interest in living in Mexico. And heck, even if you don't have interest in living in Mexico, it could still be valuable to have permanent residency in Mexico because then, like, if anything ever happens in your home country and you need to go somewhere else, well, then you'll have legal access to Mexico. They didn't want to get robbed themselves, so they waited for the robbers to leave. Yeah, or maybe they didn't want to die. Because I guess like that's a possibility. They were afraid of a shootout and weren't going to risk their lives. Luis asked, Jordan, do you still feel safe being there after what's going on? Yeah, but I mean, if this is a one-off event, sure, like no problem. But if this starts happening frequently, well, then my mind is going to change very quickly. Like something about Mexico is places can change pretty quickly. Like a city can go from being really safe or reasonably safe to fairly dangerous in a short amount of time. And then it can go back to being safe again. And I mean, I've seen that happen. I've seen Tulum go from safe to pretty darn dangerous and back to reasonably safe fairly quickly. Sherry, thanks for the super chat. Message really just wanted to send some money. That's very kind. I appreciate that, Sherry. Cesar as Zibata, Urica, or Juriquilla to live in. So if you're not familiar with these, they're all neighborhoods in Querétaro. Actually, Zibata is more of its own city in itself near Querétaro, but the other two are neighborhoods. Um, my choice of those would be Juriquilla, but like people have different preferences. Like if you want cheaper golf and you're okay being further away from Querétaro and like uh, Zibata is nice. It's all brand new, lots of nice homes there, but you are isolated from Querétaro. So as long as you're okay being further away, Zibata is nice. And Jurica, there's some really nice homes in Jurica, and I was looking into renting there. It's a nice area. Sherry, thanks so much for becoming a channel member. I really appreciate that. Robert asks, has your routine changed since you're with your new girlfriend? A lot. Yeah. I'm spending much less time at home, much more time with her. She hasn't cooked anything today, at least not for me. I haven't seen her today. How was my salmon for dinner the other night? The salmon was so freaking good. I think it's better than any salmon I've ever had in a restaurant. It was amazing. Like super flavorful and juicy. Oof. Joseph asks, is Maya a chiropractor? No, she's a physical therapist. Does my cook very well. Yeah. Have you been to Salaya? I haven't. I was thinking about going there just to make a video. Teresa asks, so no permanent residency needed to live for my winters there? Like, if you're planning on spending 3 months a year or 6 months a year in Mexico, I'd get residency because, like, even it wasn't that long ago that they stopped giving people 180 days coming to Mexico. And a lot of people, especially those flying into Mexico City or Cancun, were getting 30 days or less, in many cases, even just 7 days. Um, One person told me that their entire plane got 7 days that they were allowed in the country. So, I mean, getting residency, you avoid all of that risk. Now, I think they've mostly gone back to giving people 180 days again, but you never know when that's going to change. Lakers End, thanks for the super chat. How do you stay safe with all the crime going on around you? Have any tips for people traveling to Mexico, or is it too unpredictable? Um, I use common sense and try not to do stupid things. Don't don't flash your wealth in public. Um, don't go walking alone at night in a sketchy part of town. Things like that. Jim asks, can you deduct travel on your taxes? Yeah, all of it. As long as I'm traveling and making videos, for me, that's all tax deductible. And thank goodness, because travel's expensive and those costs add up quickly. How much weight have you gained since you started working out? I can see the difference. Way to go, man. Thank you. And I think I've lost weight because I was getting a little chunky before I was working out consistently. David asked, do you know anything about the neighborhood of Vista Real in Queretaro? Not really. However, one fun fact about that, my most recent video from Saturday, I showed you guys 3 neighborhoods in Querétaro that I really like, as well as some of the rental and purchase options available for homes in that area, for homes and apartments. And I was telling my girlfriend about the video I was doing, and she told me that Vista Real is one of her favorite. That's the one neighborhood she mentioned. So you go check it out. Sylvia, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that. Joseph asks, are you on Team Johnny or Team Amber? I'm on Team I don't give a damn about celebrity stuff. Do you miss the US? Um, Mostly no. Friends and family, yes. Some conveniences, like there's some things that I like to eat, for example, that are hard or impossible to get here. Glad to hear you have a new girlfriend. Where'd you meet each other? Is she Mexican? Yeah, she's Mexican. She was born and raised here in Queretaro, and we met on Tinder, and we got started talking after I sent her this message. I sent her this message with no text or anything else, just a skiff. Brian says, please recap what's going on. So, in the last day and a half, there's been two big events nearby that have happened. One was in Celaya, which is admittedly the most dangerous place in the country. It's the most dangerous city in the country, but it's only about an hour away from Querétaro. And there were some gunmen there who went into a hotel and were shooting it up. I'm not sure if anyone got hurt or killed there, but I mean, that's still scary as hell. Like, I mean, when I go to a hotel, like, I think that's going to be a safe place to be. So that's kind of scary, even though it is in Celaya. And then the second thing is in the state of Querétaro, not too far from the city of Querétaro, there were these armed gunmen who blocked off an entire highway and trapped 300 cars there and robbed everyone at gunpoint, like taking their phone and their wallet. Uh, and someone in the live stream here said it took 90 minutes for the police to arrive, which I don't buy for a second that they weren't involved if it took them 90 minutes to get there, because like near, maybe if it's out in the middle of nowhere, but near a big city, just no way. But then someone else suggested that maybe they didn't want to get robbed themselves, and that made me think, well, maybe they didn't want to get shot. 300 cars robbed? Wow. Yeah. Okay, 11 dead in the hotel shooting. Damn. That sucks. Miguel asks, "How's Laska?" She's doing pretty well. She's definitely not at 100%, but she's getting to the point where like I'm feeling well enough that I like with her that I can leave her with a sitter pretty soon. Are you ever going to visit San Juan del Rio? You know, I'm familiar with the place, but I haven't been there. What's there? What's there to see? Monica, thank you for the super chat. Hi, Jordan. I've always enjoyed your channel, but find myself watching more frequently now that Maya is a part of it. Love you both. Glad you like her because I do a lot. She's a big part of my life now. And by the way, if you were thinking that in the most recent video she seemed a little bit different than in the video where we introduced her, well, that's just because she wasn't feeling well in that video. Robert says, "Love your channel. What are the wonderful songbirds going on behind you?" I don't know what kind of birds they are. Lots of birds around here, but yeah, I like it. I love their sounds. Pat asks, how much is a gym membership and how are supplement prices like protein powder? Gym memberships are one thing that's more expensive here than in the US. One of the few things. And prices range as little as about $15 a month for a very basic gym. And there's one nearby me that the membership, well, to get a membership, you first have to pay an annual membership fee up front, and that's like $400 or $500 up front, and then every month you have to pay another $200 or $250. So that's a really expensive one. Awesome facility. It's way more than a gym, but yeah. So big range there. As for protein powders, uh, there's I got this organic vegetable protein powder at Costco, like uh, about this big. I forget what the brand is, but it's one that I've seen in the U.S. a lot. And it was on sale, and I think I got it for about 500 pesos or about $25. San Juan del Rio has a gas station. Oh, that seems like it's worth a visit. I mean, I've seen some pictures and I've at least seen the center square there, so I know at least that's pretty, but I don't know anything about the city. Deborah, if you sent stars in this message, I can't see it, but thank you very much. I appreciate that. Anyone who sends stars on Facebook, I'll go over there to Facebook after the stream and be sure I reply to all of you. Peter asked, "Did you get rid of the moles? You looking good, man. Thank you." Yeah, a few videos ago, I did that. I did that in a video. Beckett asks, "Are you living in the same place you originally rented?" Yes, I am. Yeah, I love this place. It's amazing. I just got a message that seems to be a scam from someone faking your channel. The message has a WhatsApp number and mentions a max. That's definitely a scam. I don't know where they sent you the message, but whatever platform it's on, please report them for impersonating someone, and then they'll get kicked off that platform. But yeah, sometimes we get people in the like fake accounts in the comment using on at least in the comment section on YouTube using my logo, and then instead of Tangerine Travels in the name, it will have like a WhatsApp number or something like that. It's annoying. There's a lot of those scams going around. Jordan, you have a $5 super chat. Thanks, Domizi. I'll I'll look for that. I think I missed it. Oh, it's from you. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Any updates on Alaska? Does she still have her Mexican boyfriend, Cooper? Yeah, she still has her Mexican boyfriend. And updates on her. She's doing well. Not 100%, but she's like probably at the point now where I feel like I can travel again. and that I can leave her with a sitter. Maggie, thank you for being a channel member. I really appreciate that. And I think this message is about reminding you guys to give it a thumbs up. And if you happen to be new here, if you're interested in Mexico videos or Vegas videos, subscribe to the channel. John, thanks for the super chat. Do you know anything about dental implants in Mexico? Okay, not really. So, before moving to Mexico, I actually went to Mexico to get some dental work done. I needed, I think it was one root canal and 3 or 4 crowns. So I got that done, and it was about a third or a quarter of the cost that it was to do the same thing in Phoenix. But yeah, as for implants, I'm not sure. Sitter for pets, where could I find one? Well, I've used a house sitting website. Also, I came across this one website when I was searching pensión para perros. That's basically like pet boarding in Spanish. I'll type it in the comment here, the spelling. Pensión para perros. And when I searched that, I searched pensión para perros Queretaro, and this website came up that looked like a replica of Rover in the U.S. So that's one website where you can find an individual to watch your dog. And there's also boarding facilities and things like that. Vias, hey Jordan, if you're Canadian or American, is the process to purchase property easy? So closing takes a little while. I think closing generally takes like 3 or 4 months, maybe even longer than that. But the process is the same whether you're Mexican or foreigners, except if you're buying property in the restricted zone. And the restricted zone is within 50 kilometers of a body of water like an ocean or the Gulf of Mexico. Lakes don't count as that. And also within 100 kilometers of a country border. Now, so most of the country is outside of the restricted zone. And if you're buying outside of the restricted zone, you can own it in your name. But in the restricted zone, you either have to become a naturalized citizen and then you could own it in your name, or you can own it through a Mexican corporation. So you you start a Mexican corporation, you would just have an attorney do this for you, and then you have the corporation buy the property, and that corporation can be 100% owned by foreigners or by you. Uh, so that's one way you can do it. And then the third way is to own it through a land trust. And then basically a bank holds this trust for you, but you can renew it forever. There's this myth out there that it's a 99-year lease. It's not. It's a trust, and it can be renewed forever. So it's really good for estate planning and things like that, and giving the property to your heirs or to your heirs after you pass and things like that. But regardless of whether you're a foreigner or a U.S. citizen, it's all done through a notary. And notaries here in Mexico are different than they are in the U.S. Like they're basically it's a lawyer that's appointed by the governor of the state. Thank you, Joe, for the 50 peso super chat. Have an ice cold tepache on me, good buddy. Made with pineapple skins and raw cane sugar. Piloncillo. I didn't realize piloncillo was cane sugar. I've had it and I really like piloncillo. Oh, someone asked about mixed martial arts earlier, and yeah, Taekwondo is very common here. You, I see the Taekwondo places all the time. Jesus, what website do you recommend to look at properties for sale in Mexico if you live in the U.S.? Inmuebles24.com or .com. I'll type it in the chat, the spelling of that. I'll be right back. I'm going to go pour myself a tea. Give me like 2 minutes. All right, I'm back. Thank you for sticking around. Let me see what I missed. Angel asks, "What scary stuff is happening in Mexico?" Well, actually, happening near me in Querétaro. There's been two events in the last day and a half. One is that a hotel in Celaya got shot up and like 10 people died. And Celaya is a city about an hour away from me, in the neighboring state of Guanajuato. And admittedly, Celaya is the single most dangerous city in the country, which happens to be right next to one of the safest places in the country, Querétaro. But yeah, just yesterday morning, a little outside the city of Querétaro, in the state of Querétaro, there were 300 cars that were blocked off on the highway and blocked from going anywhere. And they were all robbed at gunpoint of like their wallet and cell phone. So yeah, that's scary. Ishmael, thank you for the 499 pesos super chat. I really appreciate that. That's the biggest one of the night. Wow. No question or comment along with it. I'll look for your name though if you have any questions or another comment. Mike Ray says there were not 300 cars robbed. Were they not all robbed? Someone in the chat said it took 90 minutes for the police to show up. And Ishmael with the super chat. I invite you to eat in my house here in Queretaro. That could be nice. Send me an email. You can find it on the YouTube channel. $90? How's that possible? Yeah, right next to a big city of over 1 million people. How's that possible? My guess is it was an inside job. Either that or they were scared of a shootout and just didn't show up until the thieves left. Oh, so the person who said that 300 cars weren't robbed, Querétaro Oficial, said it didn't happen. I wonder if they can be trusted, or if the original news sources that were releasing it, talking about it, can be trusted. I don't think Celaya is the most dangerous city in Mexico. Where'd you get that? Based on the murder statistics. So, if you look up like most dangerous cities in Mexico or cities with the most murders in Mexico, something like that, Celaya is at the top. At least it was when I was there, or when I looked that up. And Yasmin says it is the most dangerous city. My mom lived near there, and Celaya is the worst. Thank you for the $5 super chat. I leave for Cancun this Saturday. Wish me luck, fam. I don't know if you need luck. Just go and have fun. Go and enjoy yourself. Sando Torres asks, do you get the feeling that there are two prices, the Güero price and what the locals really paid? Occasionally, there's two different prices. It's more commonly the case if you're in a tourist city. But there's been a few examples through my time in Mexico. Like one time I bought churros from a guy in Spanish for 10 pesos. Like maybe 20 minutes later, I see a guy come up to him, speaking to him in English, and the price was 20 pesos. So that was more of an English tax than it was a foreigner tax. But the price doubled for the person speaking English. And then I've also had a decent number of situations where I'm in like some kind of market and I'm speaking to the vendors in Spanish. And like I remember one situation in Puerto Morelos, talking to the guy in Spanish. He said, "Oh, your Spanish is really good. I'm going to give you the locals price because your Spanish is so good." And then I laughed, thinking he was joking, and he was like, "No, I'm serious." But something like that has happened a few times. Josh, thanks for the super chat. Any must-see places in Puerto Vallarta going for the first time next week? I mean, like if you were to watch my 4 most recent Puerto Vallarta videos, that's going to give you a lot of ideas. But I thought hiking up to the Mirador was cool and the view of the city from there. I thought going to the restaurant Le Cliff was a pretty cool experience, although the food sucked. The place, the destination is awesome. I went to the resort Marival Armony on a day pass, and that was pretty cool. Like that's something I would definitely consider if you're not already staying at a resort. And then there in those videos you'll see a bunch of restaurants that I loved. Like the best pizza I've had in Mexico was at this place called Longolo di Napoli. Their pepperoni pizza, so good. This other place called Maria Baja, cheap and awesome. Don't easy, thanks for the super chat. Next time, try to be like Miklo from the movie Blood In, Blood Out, so you can pay like locals. I'm sorry, I don't get this reference. I haven't seen that movie. Acapulco Ron says, your new girlfriend is amazing. She is. She's so amazing. She has literally every quality I'm looking for in a woman. You're so much more chilled on here than in your videos. I forgot that everyone exaggerates or amps up their energy for their 20-minute content. Yeah, I mean, I intentionally like have more energy in the videos because I mean the fact of the matter is they perform better when I have more energy than when I don't. Like people are more interested in them. They get more views. People stick around longer, and maybe they watch 10 minutes of the video instead of 7 minutes if I didn't have energy. Acapulco Ron, thanks for the 200 peso super chat. I really appreciate that. Haven't watched your channel in a long time. Videos are so much better now, and congrats, your new girlfriend is amazing. Thank you. I've been working hard to improve the quality of the videos, and she is. She's lovely. So speaking of Celaya being dangerous or not, Celaya had the most homicides per capita in 2020. Yeah, that's probably something like the statistic I saw when I looked it up. Juan Jose, Maria Baja or Marea Baja? Oh, the first one. If I mispronounce Maria, I'm sorry. King Diano Adventures asks, what's the best way to grow my channel? Try to improve with every single video. Just keep making better and better videos. And if you make awesome videos, the people will watch. And like when I say great videos, like there's people on YouTube who make good videos in some sense, but it's not good in the sense of what YouTube is looking for. Like they want people to click on your video and watch it for a long time and then watch another video and then another video and then another video. So like there's people like there's YouTubers who I know personally who make good stuff, but it's not stuff that keeps people's attention. So, like, if they were a filmmaker, they would be good. But as a YouTuber, their videos don't perform well because people don't stick around long enough to watch. So, yeah, keep keep improving on your videos, and the people will come eventually. Ramon Hernandez asks, "Have you been to Ensenada?" No, but I really want to go, and I'm excited to. So maybe this summer, when when it's hot at most beach destinations in Mexico, it'll be beautiful in Ensenada. So maybe I'll make it there this summer. In fact, I probably will. Yeah, no one asks, how long have you been living in Mexico? Almost 4.5 years. End of July, it'll be 4.5 years. Jordan, does live videos hurt your rating with YouTube? That's what I heard. No, no, that would be a myth. In fact, I just had my I finally got a channel manager on YouTube for the first time since starting the channel, and I just had my first call with him a couple days ago. And one of the things he was really pushing me to do was to do more live videos. Elias asks, "What's the best thing you like about Querétaro?" The weather, the perfect year-round weather. That's my number one selling point for this city. JG asks, "Are you going to abandon Mexico like the Kinetic Cannons?" Um, I I wouldn't call what they did abandoning Mexico. I mean, going to visit other countries for a few weeks or a few months or however long they plan to do it. I don't think that's abandoning Mexico. But I mean, I have no plans to leave Mexico, but who knows what the future holds. Travis Tibbets, thank you for the $20 super chat. Have you noticed real estate prices going up in Mexico, and what do you think will happen when the US market corrects? So what do I think will happen to the Mexico real estate market when the US market corrects? I'm going to answer this question based on that assumption. Based on that you're asking about what will happen to the US or to the Mexico real estate market. Um, but have I noticed real estate prices going up in Mexico? So I think this is more of a city by city thing than the country as a whole. Like, there are some places that have gotten really popular where supply of homes and apartments is limited, like Puerto Vallarta comes to mind immediately because that's somewhere I've been recently, and talking to people there, they're telling me how much the real estate market has increased in the past 4 years or so, and it's gone crazy there. Um, but then there's other places where it hasn't changed nearly as much. So yeah. And then the second part of your question, what do you think will happen when the US market corrects? So, what will happen to the Mexico real estate market when the US market corrects? For most of Mexico, I think it will be unaffected because the the US home buyers just aren't a very substantial part of the market here in most places. However, there are some places where they are a substantial part of the real estate market, like Puerto Vallarta, I just mentioned, and probably all the other popular tourist destinations, as well as places like by Lake Chapala, like Ajijic. So I've heard a lot of stories of people who are selling their home in the US because their home value has gone up so much, and then they're taking some or all that money and buying a home in Mexico because they can get a lot more home for their money in Mexico. Or maybe they had a dream to live oceanfront and they're selling their home in some city in the US and then buying oceanfront in Mexico. So there's a lot of that going on with the real estate market being so high in the US, and Canada for that matter. But if and when the US market corrects, I imagine there will be less of that, which would mean less demand for homes in the tourist cities, the popular tourist cities in Mexico, and maybe prices fall a little bit in those cities. Like that's just I haven't thought about this very much. In fact, like basically just right now, that's it. So, I mean, this is kind of just me trying to think through step by step of what might happen. Who'd win a fight, Tangerine Trowels or Kinetic Cannons? Well, I have Laska, and I also know Krav Maga, but Greg is freaking huge, and he also knows Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. So I don't know. I feel like Laska would just lick them. I mean, if I could train Laska to be aggressive, then I think I got it. But if not, then I'm going to go with them. Wally, thank you so much for being a channel member. Apart from my, of course, what else have you fallen in love with in Mexico when it comes, or what else have you fallen in love with when it comes to Mexico? 4.5 years isn't a joke. You keep getting stronger and better. Well done. Well, good to see you joining the live stream from Nigeria. What else have I fallen in love with? The food throughout the whole country. As a whole, I really love the Mexican people. There are lots of good people here. And what else? I like a lot of the historic buildings and things like that. I wanted to say I love the history and the culture and stuff, but I can't say I love the history because a lot of the history is destroying ancient civilizations and replacing it with their, their own European style buildings and things like that. But I mean, like you have so many of these colonial cities with this colonial architecture that's 200, 300, even 500 years old, and there's a lot of really pretty buildings as well. But yeah, those are a few things. I love the diversity of the country as well. You have every type of landscape you could imagine, so I think that's pretty cool. B Camper, does the elevation in Querétaro and many other Mexican cities cause problems for you? No, it does not. Are there nice cities with lower elevation other than the coast? I mean, there are cities with lower elevation. Queretaro is at 6,000 feet, give or take. But I mean, almost all of Mexico is over 3,000 feet of elevation. Like it's literally only the coastline that's not at higher elevation in Mexico. KBNE asks, what are LGBT rights like in Mexico? Is it legal to be gay there? Yes, it's legal. And there's some cities that are more open-minded to it than other cities. But as someone who's not gay, I don't feel like I can really speak on the topic very intelligently. Mark asked, do you have any good or bad police experiences? Um, Not really anything bad. There's been some annoying ones, like I mean, been pulled over a bunch for doing nothing. So that's annoying. But they were always just like checking the paperwork of the car, making sure it's in the country legally and things like that. Um, there was an annoying stop in the state of Yucatan once. Like stopped by the state police and they searched the entire car and it took like 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes. But just annoying. Not particularly bad experiences. And as for good experiences, they've never helped me in any way either. So, at least not directly. How was your salmon pasta with goat cheese dinner Sunday? It was amazing, especially the salmon. Whew, best salmon I've ever had. Amelia, thank you for sending stars. I appreciate that. Like I mentioned earlier, I can't see them on my software here, but I'll be sure to reply to everyone who sent any stars after the stream's over. Is there any slang that's been particularly useful to learn? All of it? Yeah. You just pick up on it little by little. Justin, you're funny. Thank you for the super chat and for being a channel member. I finally figured out how to send stars on YouTube as well. Just star emojis. That's funny. Hey, I'm starting to get bothered by some bugs out here, so I think I'm gonna end the stream here. But thank you all for joining. If you haven't seen the video from Saturday, go check that out. It's on YouTube and Facebook. But anyway, I'll see you very soon. And I think I'm losing my voice. But thanks so much for everyone who's a channel member, for everyone who sent super chats, and just for joining and interacting with me. I appreciate it.